Reviewing this game was probably one of the most weird experiences that I had in the past few, maybe even years, because I never wanted to love the game and I never wanted to hate the game at the same time this much. And I did both with this game. Plus, before even I started playing this game, I watched a lot of reviews and the people were either absolutely hating this game or were absolutely loving this game. So I was interested in what was on about it. So I decided to play it completely from the beginning to an end and to see what is up. And yep, as you guessed it, in this video we're going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and whether it is worth it to buy right now, few years after its release. So without further ado, let's just discuss that. And as always, as with every single one of my videos, I'm not going to be wasting your time and giving you the answer right away and tell you that Assassin's Creed Odyssey is absolutely worth to buy, but this game has some major barriers that will basically force you to stop playing if you will not endure through it, and we're going to be discussing that because this is the reason why a lot of people were hating this game and why I hated it as well. But at the end of the day, in its entire experience, I absolutely love this game, and yeah, you should play it and experience it as well, especially if you love ancient Greeks setting, because this game just nailed it completely. And yeah, if you like that your time is not wasted in reviews or any type of videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because yeah, that helps me a lot. Now, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay, to give you understanding what do I mean by loving this game and hating this game, let me just tell you about entire experience of this game and what I was feeling and what I wanted to do when I was playing this game. So when I started the game, just to give you understanding, I understand that this game is as far from Assassin's Creed as it can be. It's even farther than Assassin's Creed Origins, and I'm completely fine with it. I got used to it. I know that AC games, the old AC games, the original trilogy or quadrilogy, if you include Assassin's Creed 4 or Unity or even Syndicate, those are different games. An RPG series, which includes Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, are different games. I completely understand this, and I'm used to it. So yeah, I know that this is not the same AC games. The next thing that I wanted you to know is that I really don't care about the modern day settings. I don't care about this, and thankfully in this game there is not a lot of this. So yeah, I was really glad that there's not a lot of this in this game. Third thing is that I was expecting a lot of grind because, yep, I didn't like Origins because of that, so I was expecting the same thing here, hoping that it was better. But yeah, spoiler alert, it's not. So I started playing this game, and the first 2 hours at the first region, I absolutely enjoyed it. The setting was beautiful, game was amazing, the game looked beautiful, the dialogue was, even though nothing amazing, it was pretty cool, the world building was amazing, and the combat was fantastic. I loved and enjoyed the combat a lot, and with the combat, game leans more towards RPG with different abilities, with parries, with dodges, with skill bars, and it's simply insane and pretty cool, and we're going to be going a little bit in depth in a few minutes. And the first region was cool, and after the first region you actually gain a ship, and now you're free to explore the entire Greek world. And after that, after the first 2 hours, the game just halted for me. It just stopped immediately because it became an absolute grinding and boring chore. The second main region that you need to visit, Megaris, was absolutely boring, and yeah, I did not enjoy it that much. Even though I enjoyed the story elements, the gameplay was not that good. But I said to myself, okay, it will most likely become better. And the third region got it even worse because, yeah, the grind actually started to show its face because in the beginning you don't have a lot of main missions, and each main mission requires higher and higher levels, which you cannot obtain just by playing main missions. You actually need to play side quests, and the side quests in those regions were absolutely atrocious, and it felt like absolute filler, and I hated that. From 2 to 10 hours I had to absolute grind to go through these regions and to go through the stories, and I absolutely hated that. And the first time ever I actually considered buying XP boost. Yes, you can buy XP boost, 50% XP boost in this game, which is absolutely atrocious. And by buying, I don't mean by in-game currency, I mean by real money, and it was costing me $10. So I was like this close to buying it, but I decided to endure through it because I knew the majority of the players who will be playing this game will not be buying this, so I decided to just leave it and play it again. And just continue playing it. And to be fair, after 10 hours, after 10-hour mark, the game suddenly opened up, because after 10 hours you will reach around level 15 to 20, and during these levels you actually start to visit major cities like Athens, which is absolutely insane, and you are unlocking a lot of map, especially the island regions, and that was when the game actually opened up for me, because the cities had far better side quests and it was far easier to level up faster in the cities. You had more regions to conquer, which gave you quite a lot of XP. You had quite a lot more additional side quests, like kill X amount of enemies, or gain X amount of or conquer X amount of regions and go into X amount of battles, that you don't really need to play actively, because when you get those quests, you actually are completing these quests by itself by just playing the game. And the island regions were pretty good, because islands has their own quest chains, and all the quests on the islands and its regions were actually connected to each other, which were pretty interesting and pretty cool. And quickly, from around 15 to 20 hour mark, I realized that I was grossly over leveled, meaning that I was way beyond the levels that I needed to be to go to play main quests, which was pretty amazing. And at this time I realized that yep, I was not actually grinding, I was actually enjoying the game, and it felt pretty good. And when I continued playing the main quests, I realized that I didn't need to grind that much after that, and I was just playing and enjoying the game like I was supposed to do. And thankfully I didn't buy XP boost, because if I would have bought it, I would have just gone through main quest and never enjoyed the amazing side quest that game actually provides to you. So I continued playing and I enjoyed it quite a lot. And that was actually the point when I realized why a lot of reviewers hated this game, because they didn't go actually past level maybe 20, or they didn't play past 15 or maybe 20 hours, because before that, before 15 hours, like from 2 to 15 hours, the game is the absolute chore that you need to endure. And if you just want to go through main quests, you will not be able to do that, and it feels like absolute chore. But if you're gonna go through this, the game just opens up and gives you an insanely interesting game and pretty cool story, which plays with the family and the cult of Cosmos, which is the predecessor to Templar Order, and the cult of Ancients, if I remember it right, from Assassin's Creed Origins, because this game is happening a few hundred years before AC Origins. And it was pretty interesting, and with the cult mechanics, which has like very distinct hierarchy, and you need to find each and every cult member, which has their own backstory, which you need to find in the world through different quests, or just by literally stumbling upon them in an open world, was pretty cool and pretty interesting. So game was far more interesting than I thought. But what about the combat? Well, the combat and the skills were pretty interesting, because you have 3 main trees that you can actually develop, and you can be just speccing your levels either into your archery, which I would not suggest you to do that, or you can spec or you can spec into your combat, which is pretty cool, or you can spec into your assassin skill. I've heard a lot of reviewers saying that you cannot actually one-shot kill a lot of enemies, and yeah, they were right. But you will spec into assassin tree, you can one-shot kill basically everyone except for maybe the most powerful enemies. So yeah, that was not valid, and even it was not valid for me. I just spec'd into Assassin's Tree just with few ability points, and yeah, I was able to destroy every enemy that I could find by basically one-shotting them. The game has a variety of weapons, even though a lot of them are playing a bit similar. Some of them, the real difference between them is the reach, how far they can actually attack. For example, the spears have the furthest attacks and daggers have the smallest attack reach. How fast they can attack, the same. The spears and the axes have the slowest attacks, while daggers and swords have the fastest. And different modifiers like the different stats, like assassin damage or warrior damage, or different different elemental damages like fire damage or poison damage. You have pretty fun and cool abilities like taking the shield from enemies, or even completely shattering them by hitting it insanely hard. And yeah, combat was pretty fun and pretty interesting, and I enjoyed it a lot. Overall story of the game and the game itself was insanely fun and interesting after around 20-hour mark. But what actually disappointed me, even though I will not be giving you any spoilers, was the ending of the game. The game has weird ending, or rather it has multiple endings. There is your main story ending with your family story, which is your regular main quest ending, which was weird and very abrupt. There is Cult of Cosmos ending, which is again very weird and very abrupt. There is also Atlantis ending, which is pretty weird as well. There is your real world ending, like the modern time ending, which was weird. And yeah, ending was a little bit underwhelming. Like all of the endings were a little bit underwhelming. But what was cool was branching storylines, because yep, game actually has a branching storylines, and all the decisions that you do in the beginning of the game or in the middle of the game will actually affect a lot of things at the end. For example, closer to the beginning of the game, in a few hours of the game, you're encountering a character that you need to kill. And if you kill him, then this character's close family member will actually want to kill you. But if you not kill him, well, you will encounter this character later in the game and will actually help you to complete some missions even without you doing anything, and will actually stop that other character from trying to kill you as well. And you can do a bunch of different things like that by saving or killing different characters. You will actually change the outcome of the certain missions, and you can actually change the outcome of an entire game as well. Because yeah, game has multiple endings. At least the main story has the multiple endings. But I cannot talk about this game by not talking about the world and how great of a job Ubisoft actually did by recreating the ancient Greece. It is insane. And they actually made even the separate game mode. I don't remember, I think exploration mode or something like that. It's completely different game mode where you can actually explore entire world and actually see how the different parts of the world look like right now, and learn the actual history of an ancient Greece, which is amazing. If you love history, you're gonna enjoy it a lot. But what about the pricing? How much this game will cost you? So game is available on Steam for the base price of $59.99 for tier 1 countries and $32.99 for tier 2 countries, and it can go as low as $11.99 for tier 1 countries and $6.59 for tier 2 countries. Game's base version is also available on Game Pass both on PC and on Xbox. So is it worth it? Well, if you're gonna find this game on a discount, absolutely go and grab it. This is one of the best Assassin's Creed games, even though it has its own downsides, and it cannot be called a real Assassin's Creed game because yeah, it's completely separate thing. It does not even have any assassins, except for one very noticeable exception in the DLC, the expansion of the game. Oh, the Legacy of the First Blade. You really don't do anything about assassins, which was weird. There are no assassins in the game, not Assassin Order. Because the real assassin orders, the hidden ones, will be created by Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins few hundred years later. Here, it's not here. You are just a guy who is fighting against the cult, which is a predecessor to the Cult of Ancients, which is predecessor to the Templar Order. So yeah, it's things like that. There are things about the ancient civilizations that were predecessors of the humans and things like that. Yeah, there are things about that, and a lot of things about that, but not real assassins. So if you find this game on a discount, which can go as low as 80%, if you have a Game Pass, go and get it because you are gonna enjoy it. But be aware, after first 2 hours to around maybe 10 to 15 or maybe even 20 hours, if you will not be playing this game properly and if you will not be ready to grind a bit, you are going to hate this. But after 15 to 20 hours, up to 50, maybe 60, I actually played 70 hours in this game, you will enjoy every single second. I played this game extensively even after I completed the main missions because I enjoy doing side quests and I enjoyed doing this mythical quest, like finding all the mythical creatures as well, which was insanely fun. Like fighting Cyclops or fighting Medusa or fighting Minotaur was insanely fun. And to everyone who said that they didn't enjoy this game, at least try to complete the main story and then tell me that you didn't enjoy it. Then we can talk about this. But if you haven't even completed the main story, yeah, you are not ready to talk about this game. Because yeah, this game has a serious flaw in the early to mid game, but it just opens up and unlocks it and just makes this game an insanely fun and amazing experience. Which I actually started playing again with the new game plus. And yeah, I guess I have some problems. Well, I guess this will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.